Artemis and Artemis II remind us that our greatest chapters are yet to be written. Well done. Go Artemis II!
Imagine, after more than 50 years, humans are going back to the moon. Not robots, not satellites, but real people, breathing, thinking, watching. The mission is called Artemis II.
Liftoff. The crew of Artemis II now back.
A journey. That sounds familiar, but feels different. Because the last time humans went this far, something changed. And then, we never went back. For decades, the moon stayed silent. No footsteps, no voices, no missions like before, just emptiness. And now, suddenly, we are returning again. But why now? Why after so long? Technology didn't stop. Science didn't stop. So why did we? Some say it was politics. Some say it was money. But others believe something else. Something we don't talk about. Because the moon is not just a rock in space. It is a place that has been watching Earth for billions of years. Always there, always silent. And yet, we only explored a tiny part of it. The side we can see. But the other side, the dark side, remains hidden. No human has ever walked there. No one has seen it with their own eyes. And now, Artemis II is not landing, but it is going close enough to look deeper, to see more than we ever have before. And that's where the questions begin. Because space is not empty. It is full of silence. And sometimes, silence hides something. Something we are not ready to understand. Something that has been waiting for us to come back. There is a side of the moon we never see, not because it doesn't exist, but because it is always turned away, locked in place, facing the darkness of space. This is what we call the far side of the moon. Many people call it the dark side, not because it has no light, but because it has no witnesses, no humans, no footprints, just craters and silence, deep, endless silence. When astronauts went to the moon before, they stayed on the near side, the side facing Earth, where communication was possible, where help was only seconds away. But the far side is different. Once you cross over, you lose direct contact with Earth. No signals, no voices, just you and space. Imagine that moment. 1 second, you hear mission control. The next, nothing. Complete silence. And that silence is not just empty. It feels heavy, almost like you're not supposed to be there. Scientists say it's just physics, just orbit mechanics. But still, why does it feel so strange? Why does the human mind react to it with fear? Maybe it's because we are entering a place we've never truly explored. A place untouched, unseen, and unknown. Artemis II will pass behind the moon. For a few minutes, they will disappear from Earth. No communication, no connection, just darkness. And in those few minutes, they will be closer to the unknown than any human has ever been. And maybe they will see something, something we've never seen before. Let's step back and look at what we actually know. The moon is not as simple as it seems. Its surface is covered with craters, some of them billions of years old, scars from impacts, frozen in time. But the far side is different, very different. It has more craters, fewer flat areas, and a much thicker crust, almost like it evolved differently. Scientists have studied it for years, using satellites, using data. But data is not the same as experience, because numbers don't feel anything.
Humains do.
And when humans enter space, something changes. Astronauts have described it before. A feeling of isolation, of being watched, even when nothing is there. They call it the overview effect. But sometimes, it feels like more than that. Like the universe is aware of you, watching, silently, waiting. Artemis II astronauts will carry all our knowledge with them. But knowledge doesn't remove fear, because fear comes from the unknown, and space is full of it. We understand gravity, we understand orbits, but we don't understand everything, not even close. There are still questions, with no answers, still mysteries, with no explanations. And the moon is one of them, because the more we study it, the more it feels like we've only scratched the surface. And now, we are going back, not just to explore, but to understand, and maybe, to discover something. Every mission into space carries a risk, but not all risks are physical. Some are psychological, because space changes how we think. It stretches perception. It bends reality. Time feels different. Distance feels different. And silence feels louder than anything on Earth. Now imagine floating behind the moon. No signal, no sound, just darkness and your own thoughts. In that moment, your mind starts to wander. It begins to ask questions, questions without answers. What if we are not alone? What if something has always been there, watching, waiting, not hostile, not friendly, just there? We like to believe space is empty, because emptiness feels safe. But what if it's not? What if the universe is filled with things we cannot see, things beyond our understanding? Artemis II is not just a mission, it is a step into that uncertainty, into a place where human presence is rare, where silence dominates, and where every second feels longer than it should. Because when you are far from Earth, you realize something. We are not in control. Not really. We are just visitors. Tiny, fragile, temporary visitors. And space doesn't care. It doesn't respond. It doesn't react. It just exists. And sometimes, that is the most terrifying thing of all. So, why are we going back? Why now? Why risk everything to return to a place we left behind? Maybe the answer is simple. Curiosity. The same force that made us look at the stars thousands of years ago. The same force that pushed us beyond Earth. But curiosity can be dangerous because it leads us into the unknown, and the unknown does not always welcome us. Artemis II will carry humans farther than ever before. Since the Apollo missions, they will see Earth as a distant light, a fragile blue dot, floating in darkness. And in that moment, everything changes, because distance creates perspective, and perspective creates questions. Questions about life, about existence, about our place in this vast universe. We may go to the moon, looking for answers, but we often return with more questions, because the universe is not something we can fully understand. Not yet, maybe never. And that's what makes it so powerful, so mysterious, so terrifying. Artemis II is just the beginning, a small step into a much bigger unknown. And whatever happens, whatever they see, whatever they feel, one thing is certain: we will never look at the moon the same way again. Because sometimes, the truth is not what we expect. And sometimes, the universe reveals just enough to keep us searching forever.